Oh boy, one of my favorite days of the year. The NFL schedule has been released. The Bears get to know when they get to play their 17 different opponents this upcoming season. Now, before you is the spreadsheet that I've used for the last 6 or 7 years to write down the NFL schedule, make some predictions, keep up to date with everything. And so I'm going to use this today to go ahead and put together the Bears schedule and give you a real live reaction to it. On the bottom, you can see this was my prediction. I literally just made this 5 minutes, 5 minutes before the start. So at this point, probably about 8 minutes ago. The schedule dropped 3 minutes ago. We know 2 of the games the Bears will be playing, and they've been drip feeding the NFL fans a couple of games here in the last couple days, and the Bears were involved in 2 of those, leaks, if you will. First off, a doubleheader on Saturday, a Saturday doubleheader in Week 16 on Fox, where they'll be playing the Green Bay Packers at home. Oh boy, man, do I just love playing in front of a national stage when we play the Packers. Though I will say, I'm very happy that they chose this one to be in Soldier Field, just from the perspective that we haven't seen a night game between the Bears and Packers in Soldier Field in a long time. 2019 was the last time we saw that. It's been well overdue. So I'm very happy that they picked that. And as well, the Bears get the home field advantage, of course. And then on Black Friday, the Bears are going to go travel to Philadelphia to play the reigning Super Bowl champions. Just wonderful. The one game we play against the reigning Super Bowl champs, we got to go on the road, and we got to play on Black Friday, a non-traditional day, and in front of a national stage again. So 2 games down. Let's find out where the rest of the schedule turns out and when the other 15 games will take place. Okay, I've just reloaded the page because I went onto the Bears website, and on the schedule it just said the Eagles game and the Packers game. I've reloaded it. It's time to take a look at the 2025 Bears schedule. Starting the season, Week 1, the Bears... Oh, excuse me. Okay, I was like, hang on. The Miami Dolphins, that's the first preseason game. So, first off, we'll go through preseason just real quick. Week 1, home for the Dolphins. Week 2, home for the Bills. That's going to be on Fox. So, the Bears actually get a nationally televised preseason game this year. And then they play at Kansas City again to wrap things up. So, there's your 3 preseason games. Now, again, enough build-up. Let's go. Week 1, the Bears will be going... No, they're going to play at home. They're going to be at home against the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be on Monday Night Football. It's on ESPN. They get the Monday Night opener. Again? They put the Bears and the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Again. Look, I get that this is a historical rivalry, but my gosh, the last 2 years have just not been good games. I just don't just thinking about it from a neutral fan perspective, the Bears won one of the worst games of the year in 2023. They were the only team to win a game without scoring a touchdown, winning 12-10 in that game. And then last year, it was a blowout. So maybe ESPN just wants to shake it up and bring the game to Chicago, but they ain't playing on opening Sunday. They are playing on the opening Monday of the season. That is really interesting. So we get a divisional showdown to start the year. And that kind of makes some sort of sense, because the Bears-Vikings game in Soldier Field last year was a movie, with Caleb coming back from 11 down in the fourth with 30 seconds left. All right, Week 2, Sunday, noon start at Detroit. Oh boy, 2 divisional games right out the gate. And they get the Lions on the road. Well, you know what? I say this every time I look at schedules when they come out. I look at who are the best teams the Bears are going to, or whatever team is going to be playing. And the Lions are definitely one of those teams. And I always look at when they play. If it's early, that's a good thing. So the Bears will go to Detroit early. They're going to be tested early. With the Vikings, a new-look team, it's going to be the first start for J.J. McCarthy. Most likely. And then the Detroit Lions right after. Oh, boy. All right. Week 3 at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Oh boy. On Sunday, that's a Sunday afternoon game on Fox. I'm going to put afternoon. Yeah, I'm going to put afternoon. I'm going to put morning here because that's a Sunday morning game. So I'm going to label it a little bit here. Okay. You get the Cowboys with that stuff going on in Jerry World. We'll see what they've got. It's an early season game, so they were injured a lot at the end of last year, so they don't get the chance of maybe the injury bug hitting the Cowboys again before they play them. They're going to have to play them at full strength. But, you know, that's just a nice first 3 games and a nice first 2 home games. Week 4, at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'd say the easiest road game of the year for the Bears is going to happen early. They're going to get a bit of a break. They're going to go to Vegas, go see Ashton Genty and what's going on in Raiderland with Geno Smith. I'll be interested to see how the Raiders look because they might not be as bad as we might think going into next season. I still don't think they'll be super competitive, but I don't think they'll be as bad as they were in last year, just with those 2 additions right there. Week 5. Bye week. Wow. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that they get the early bye. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that sucks. They got the early bye. Oh, no. That's going to be bad if this team gets hurt, around week 8, 9. Oh, baby, that's, you better hope that doesn't become a problem. But you'll take the early rest, I guess. I don't know. It's the first bye week of the year. Dang, that's really weird. All right, whatever. Monday. Oh, yeah, week 6. Oh, I did call this. I was thinking about where things were going to go in terms of primetime games. I had a feeling, and I knew it for a fact, the Bears and Commanders were going to be on primetime this year. I didn't quite think they were going to put it on Sunday night. I feel like ESPN would have really wanted that one and put some extra bids in there. 1 week off. 1 week off. I had it on week 5. You can see it right there. And, yeah, there you go. Week 6, Monday Night Football. So, I mean, again. Oh, God. Again. Oh, no. Again. Right out of the bye, right? Second straight year. First game out of the bye. At Washington. Oh, no. Oh, no. I definitely haven't seen... Oh, that game's going to scare me. That game's going to scare me a lot. Oh. Well, okay. Let's give them a show. So, there we go. 2 primetime games. 2 games on Monday Night Football. It's the first team in the last couple of years the Bears play on Monday Night Football that isn't the Minnesota Vikings. Week 7, Sunday. Home for the Saints. They get probably 2 of their easiest games in the first 7 weeks. With this road schedule, I don't love that. I'd love to see them get a bit of a break later in the year. If, for example, they play Baltimore in week 8 or week 9, and then week 10 and 11 play Cleveland and New York or something. San Francisco, I don't know. Okay, Saints week 7. That kind of, for some reason, I don't know why, but I felt like it was going to be an early season game. But also, this doesn't surprise me where it's at. The Bears have played the Saints in Chicago around this time frame in the schedule pretty recently. Week 8, Sunday at noon. Oh, wait, hang on. That's a morning game. I'm just going to go with a morning game because that makes things easier to differentiate, even though it's still noon central. So another morning game at Baltimore. Wow, apparently, so I just called that. At Baltimore. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm happy my prediction didn't get right for that one. I was like, I have a bad feeling they're going to have to play the Ravens on the road late in the year. They're going to have to play in week 8. And it's a morning game. I'll take that. That's nice. Week 9. Another morning game. November 2nd. At the Cincinnati Bengals. They get their 2 AFC North road games back to back. Ooh, that's tough. That actually makes that Saints game much nicer. I'm not going to lie. You get 3 tough road games. Washington, Baltimore, Cincinnati. And your only break is a home game against the New Orleans Saints. who genuinely might be the worst team in the league going into next year. Like, I'm being dead serious. That team looks really rough around the edges. That's gonna be a long season for Saints fans. The Bears cannot let that team come into Chicago and really do anything. They really can't, especially with that. Okay, all right. Week 10, home for the New York Giants. Well, actually, that's not bad. Also a morning game. So, I actually feel a lot better about this. You get 3 tough road games, and the 2 home games you get are probably, arguably, your 2 easiest home games on the year. I'll take that. I'll take that for sure. Week 11. Morning at Minnesota. Ooh, I'm actually looking forward to that. Ooh, that'll be fun. The Bears get to play the Vikings on the road during the day. I mean, we've seen the Bears play them a couple times then, but they were late season games and they didn't really matter that much. And recently they've been playing them at night in US Bank Stadium. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. That would be kind of fun. I kind of like that. It's how I feel about last year's game when the Packers played at home, when the Bears played the Packers in Lambeau. I don't know the last time I saw the Bears play the Packers in Lambeau in a day game. I just thought that was kind of cool as well. So you get to see that against the Vikings. That's cool. Week 12, morning again, the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, so we're having our... hang on. I'm going to put Black Friday and Saturday here. Forgot to do that. So you get the Steelers at home. So you're playing the 2 Pennsylvania teams. All right. I actually don't hate this schedule so far. And then you got Black Friday against the Eagles. Week 14 is another morning game. Oh. At Green Bay. The Bears and Packers are going to play twice in 3 weeks. Well, I mean, actually, it makes sense that it would be here. Because if it's not here, it has to be Week 18 again. So I'm just happy the Bears and Packers aren't playing Week 18 again. I don't know. I just was like, we had it 2 years in a row. I don't really feel like I want it for another year. Well, actually, no. That confirms that Week 18's at home against Detroit. I got that right. Let's go. I got one game right. So that confirms that. But it's a morning game, too. No afternoon. All right. Week 15, morning, at home, against the Cleveland Browns. So that's the break. Actually, I like that a lot. The break week, in between the Packers and Bears 2 matchups, the Bears will play the Browns. I like that. That's a pretty favorable matchup going into the season. Of course, we'll have no idea by week 15 how the Browns are going to look. But I'm very happy that, when you look at the opponents, the easier games, home against the Giants, the Browns, and the Saints, road against the Raiders, are pretty spread out. Week 4, Week 7, Week 10, Week 15. I like the way that that's spread out. You don't have these back-to-back, so you're playing these tough games late in the year. I like that. Week 16, Saturday against the Packers. They confirm that. Week 17 is going to be at San Francisco. They get a late season game against the Niners on the road again. And, oh, wait. That's Sunday Night Football. They're getting a Sunday Night Football game this year, and they're going to be in San Francisco. Oh, man. They picked the Bears to be in the last, scheduled Sunday night game. That's interesting. So the Bears get 3 primetime games. Or, well, no. They get 4. Because the Black Friday game is on Prime. That's technically a primetime game. Then they have another isolated time slot with that game against the Packers in Week 16. So there's 5 times the Bears will be the only team playing in a given time slot. 4 of them in primetime. Oh boy. And then, to be determined timing for their game against the Lions. But there you go. Of course, flex scheduling's a thing, and we'll see when that is. But it's interesting. They're gonna have 2 games in their first 5 on Monday Night Football, with another 2 of them being in the afternoon. So they only have 1 Sunday morning game in their first 5 contests, and then was that 6 straight? Yeah, 6 straight Sunday morning games after that. So interesting they kind of front pile the schedule a little bit, which I don't hate. I don't hate that the Bears are getting most of their national TV attention earlier in the year. I think that they're going to try and capitalize on it because of how last season went for the Bears. So I don't hate that at all. You get 2 primetime games later and then an isolated time slot. I don't hate that either. Actually, this is a pretty favorable. I actually like the way that this kind of worked out. You get the Lions on the road early in the season, which I like a lot because, again, if you're going to be fighting for a playoff spot, you don't want to be playing them on the road late. They're going to have to play them late anyways, but they get the Raiders right before the bye. They get a full extra week to prepare for Jaden Daniels and their rematch there. I'm really interested to see how that turns out. That game scares me a lot, especially with how last year's game ended. I mean, we all know what happened. They're going to show it like 5 times in the broadcast. I know that. And I really like the way that this is kind of balanced out here in the middle. 2 home games, both against easier teams, especially at the moment right now, look like easier games. Sandwiched in between those home games are 2 tough road games. And it's it's only one of 2 road back-to-backs they have this season. The other one being the Packers and the Eagles, which is not great. But they'll have a little extra time to prepare for the Packers. Now, who knows? I have yet to check the full schedule, so we don't know if the Packers are going to be playing on Thanksgiving. But that'd be the only way the Packers actually get more time to prepare for it than the Bears. But again, that could definitely happen with the Lions hosting every year. We'll see who gets the pick. I don't know. But I like that the Cleveland game, I think, is in a great spot. Especially if Cleveland's going to be pretty bad next year. Which, of course, is what some people will expect. They do have 2 lethal edge rushers now, and Myles Garrett and Mason Graham. They have 2 rushers that can really get to the quarterback. We'll see how Mason Graham does, but he'll be almost through his rookie season by that game. So we'll see how this new constructed offensive line does, and hopefully they're not injured to hell and back by that point. So we'll see. I actually don't hate this. I feel much better about this schedule this year. Looking at the schedule last year when it first came out, I was just, oh no. Especially when the first division game was in week 11. I thought that was incredibly stupid, by the way. 6 of the last 8 games the Bears played last year were against divisional teams. I thought that was really annoying. 3 of their final 5 are against divisional opponents. That's normal. But, they get 2 early divisional games this year. I don't know. I was very mad at the fact that all their divisional games were at the end of the year. And with how tough the division ended up becoming, it was even worse with how bad the team was playing. So, this feels a lot more favorable so that they can kind of balance things out a little bit more. It's not just backloaded with all the tough games or front-loaded with all the tough games. I feel like there's a nice balance. And with the tough road schedule this team has, I'll take it right now. I will take this. This doesn't look great, though Cincinnati is, weirdly enough, one of the easier road games this team has this year. This does not make me happy. I don't like the fact they're going to have back-to-back road games against the Eagles and the Packers. But again, if they get a little bit more extra time to prepare for the Packers, I'll take it. But yeah, actually, technically they have 3 back-to-backs on the road, just a bye week in between that Raiders-Commanders game. But, whatever. They only get 1 back-to-back at home. That's kind of the sucky thing. And it also involves the Packers, right? Week 15, 16. So that you can take away that those predictions were really bad. Though I got one right. The Bears hosting the Lions to end the year. Which, I don't know the last time that happened. It's been a while since the Bears hosted the Lions to end the year. But yeah, there you have it. There's the 2025-26 Chicago Bears schedule. 4 primetime games, 5 isolated time slots, and a heck of a lot of Sunday morning games in the middle of the season. This is going to be interesting. I feel like it's much more favorable. The teams going to be a little bit more comfortable week by week. It's not, doesn't feel, again, so backloaded like it did last year. Feels a lot more balanced with their opponents. So I'm very happy that this is how it worked out for this team. The thing that I dislike the most about it, the early bye and week 5, of course. But with how balanced the rest of the schedule is, I'm not as upset. I'll just say that. Anyways, I think that's all that I really need to say. But there you have it. The Bears 2025 schedule is set. And the next time that we get to really do any sort of Bears-related content or get excited about this team is when training camp starts and the preseason arrives in August. So this is pretty much all you're going to hear from me until August. But yeah, bear down. Hopefully, with all the signings and the draft prospects that this team added, they're in for a successful 2025 campaign. Can't get much worse than the last couple years, right? Anyways, that's it for me. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe to see more videos from me. And keep the conversation going down in the comments section below. Tell me what you think about the Bears schedule and how you feel about the upcoming season. That's all for me, guys. I will see you guys later.